North Korea's Kim Jong Un says the country no longer feels bound by its self-imposed suspension on nuclear weapons and long-range ballistic missiles tests. At a party meeting, Kim said he's ending the moratorium because the U.S. is stalling diplomatic talks and providing weapons to South Korea while continuing with economic sanctions on the North. Kim also said his country will move forward with weapons development, claiming the world will, quote, witness a new strategic weapon in the near future. Last night on CBS Evening News, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo told our Major Garrett he'd like to see North Korea stick with diplomacy.
We hope that the North Koreans will reconsider, that they'll continue down that pathway. It's important. It's the right solution. We want peace, not confrontation.
These two announcements do not alarm you?
I'm concerned about a lot of things every day, Major.
Right, but I mean,
I'll be honest. I saw this as like
a turn away from where you were, where the U.S. and North Korea were.
If Chairman Kim has reneged on the commitments he made to President Trump, that is deeply disappointing. I was there when Chairman Kim made the commitment that said he would not engage in intercontinental ballistic missiles or test firing of their nuclear weapons, testing their nuclear weapon systems. He made those commitments to President Trump in exchange for President Trump agreeing not to conduct large-scale military exercises. We've lived up to our commitments. We continue to hold out hope that he'll live up to his as well.
Isaac Stone-Fish is a CBSN contributor and a senior fellow at the Asia Society Center on U.S. China Relations. Isaac, thanks for being with us. So we heard Secretary of State Pompeo proceed fairly cautiously in his answer there. President Trump was also asked about the news at a Mar-a-Lago last night. Here's what he had to say.
Look, he likes me, I like him, we get along. He's representing his country, I'm representing my country. We have to do what we have to do. But he did sign a contract, he did sign an agreement talking about denuclearization. And that was signed, number one sentence, denuclearization. That was done in Singapore. And I think he's a man of his word, so we're going to find out. But I think he's a man of his word.
So, Isaac, what do these responses tell you about how the Trump administration wants to approach this situation?
We want to approach it cautiously. This is a rare, I don't want to say victory, but a rare not failure for them internationally. And they don't want to push too hard and have Kim Jong Un test something very provocatively and then cause a lot of attention to be played to Trump's inability to deliver on what he promised with North Korea.
I want to take a look at the diplomatic talks, which Kim Jong Un says have stalled. What does he want from the U.S., and what does the Trump administration want from him?
The issue is that both sides have a very different definition of denuclearization. To the Trump administration, it means North Korea giving up its nuclear weapons. To the Kim administration, it appears to mean North Korea not testing weapons and at the same time, the U.S. and South Korea not conducting any sort of military tests and the U.S. removing some, if not all, of its tens of thousands of troops from South Korea.
So we now know it's been more than 2 years since North Korea has conducted a nuclear test or long-range missile test. Should we expect that to change now?
It's certainly possible. One of the strengths of North Korean foreign policy is that it's so unpredictable. They had talked about a Christmas surprise. Christmas went and passed without any provocation from North Korea. They're talking now about a new strategic weapon. Is that some new form of nuclear weapon that they haven't tested before, or a new form of ICBM? Or is that a metaphorical strategic weapon about the strength and the purity of the North Korean people? It's really hard to know what's going to happen next with them.
Well, how seriously should we be taking that? What should we make of that push for a new strategic weapon?
I think we should see it as Kim trying to assert himself and trying to communicate to the Trump administration that North Korea, despite being a desperately poor country, has options and does have some power and leverage over the Trump administration. At the same time, it's not something that average Americans should be worried about. The threat from North Korea attacking anywhere in the United States has and always probably will be vanishingly slim chances of ever happening.
So where do you think we go from here then?
I think it depends on how much the Kim administration sees the Trump administration as a lame duck administration. It's certainly possible that the Trump administration really wants to sign a deal in the lead up to the 2020 election, but the North Koreans think, oh, well, Trump's going to lose. And if we sign a deal with him and if we really show ourselves to compromise, it's certainly possible that when a new president comes in 2021, the deal is going to be overturned. If they feel that Trump's really going to win, then I think there's probably a lot more likelihood that they're willing to actually negotiate with him.
Isaac Stone-Fish, thank you.
Thank you.